What's next for Casey Anthony? Is this she or a decoy? Where is she? Will we ever see her again? Coming up, she could follow the money. She might have to. But is she too hot to handle for book publishers and producers of made-for-TV movies? They could get burned by a backlash. If she agreed to an interview, would we believe anything she said? She's got to make a living. She's got to move on. How will she do it? Tonight, Casey Anthony is a free woman. But there are questions. Where is she going to go? How is she going to support herself, and so on? First, let's take a look back at the many different faces of Casey.
She walked out. She had a sign of relief in her face, kind of glad to be out.
Holding back any sort of facial expression.
I'm not going to give the media anything when I get out of here. It sucks for them because I have nothing to say. Can someone let me... Come on.
I can answer that then.
Okay.
I agree with Ms. Fennell.
It's a homicide, but I don't know the means for which that homicide occurred.
The top of the bones, these have actually been chewed on by animals.
Verdict as to count 1. We, the jury, find the defendant not guilty.
There were times during the trial when she showed emotion, but as she walked out of jail, she seemed relaxed, wearing a form-fitting top and tight jeans, even cracked a smile. We are back with Jennifer Berenger. She is a former member of the Casey Anthony defense team and current consultant to them. Attorney Mark Eiglarsh is with us as well. We are joined by body language expert Chris Ulrich. Chris, what did you see in Casey's body language when she walked out of the jail early Sunday?
Well, you raised a great point. She is relaxed. She is calm as she walks out. Although at one point she does something very interesting, Dr. Drew. After she says thank you to the policeman who maybe wishes her well wishes, she kind of looks down and she also takes on what we call a micro-expression. These are expressions that happen within 1/15th of a second. And what we see there is a sense of sadness. Now, what that tells us, Dr. Drew, is that we're seeing some emotion of sadness, but it doesn't tell us what she's thinking. If she's thinking about what the rest of her life is going to be like, that this is finally over, or what she's now walking into, the court of opinion, which has already determined that she's guilty. So we don't know what it is, but we do see, in addition to her walking out relaxed, this micro-expression of fear, this look down. Sometimes when we see someone look down, Dr. Drew, it's a holding of emotion a little bit. So she does leak a little bit of sadness as she's walking out, and that might also tie in with the nervousness.
It's interesting that one reporter did seem to pick up on that. Now, Chris,
Right.
During the verdict, what can you tell us about Casey's body language? Watch this.
As to the charge of first-degree murder, verdict as to count 1. We, the jury, find the defendant not guilty. As to the charge of aggravated child abuse, verdict as to count 2. We, the jury, find the defendant not guilty. As to the charge of aggravated manslaughter...
Chris, what are you seeing as we watch this tape?
Well, we're definitely seeing some release of emotion. Now, what we're seeing is, again, some micro-expressions of a little bit of anger as she listens, and then total relief at times, where we see kind of a sigh of relief. So much of her body was so tight during the rest of the trial. Her baseline expression, this is her go-to expression, it was pretty much anger, and it was pretty much contempt, and showing us very little, that stone-cold face. So for the first time here, in relation to a decision being made about her, we see this exhale for the first time. So it's definitely an example to us that she was very nervous about that. And then as soon as that verdict comes in, she lets go of some of that anxiousness and that anxiety that she was obviously feeling, and she was very tight in that moment.